All right, so Elon Musk has officially decided to pull out of his signed contract to buy Twitter, and Republicans are absolutely losing their minds and turning against him right now, which is absolutely amazing. So we're going to get to a clip here from Donald Trump in a second, calling Elon Musk a bullshit artist. But first, just a little bit of details in terms of what him pulling out of this deal is actually going to mean. I don't think anybody should be surprised that he's backing out of something like this. If there's anything that Elon Musk is very consistent with, it is not living up to the promises that he makes on a consistent basis. So here from Brett Wilkins, he says, "Don't let the door hit you on the way out." Elon Musk wants out of Twitter deal. So he says mega billionaire Elon Musk, the world's richest person, on Friday officially moved to pull out of his bid to buy Twitter, claiming that he was bailing on the $44 billion deal because the social media giant made false and misleading claims during negotiations and was in material breach of multiple provisions of the agreement. And they say for nearly 2 months, Mr. Musk has sought the data and information necessary to make an independent assessment of the prevalence of fake or spam accounts on Twitter's platform, Musk's team explained in a court filing. And they say Twitter has failed or refused to provide this information. So in terms of the Twitter bot problem, I mean, honestly, this is something that Elon Musk was talking about before he ever signed this contract. He was very openly critical about the fact that Twitter does have a bot problem on it. And so the idea that like they didn't know that there were tons of bots on Twitter seems to be completely ridiculous. I mean, Elon Musk has like 100 million Twitter followers at this point. Wouldn't be surprised if an outright majority of those are bot accounts, especially considering if you go and look in the replies to people who are responding to his Twitter posts. I mean, it's almost chock full of bots top to bottom. So not exactly sure why he would be surprised about this, but even assuming that they were misleading in their bot calculations, or that Elon Musk felt that he wasn't given access to all of the information necessary, well, he waived his due diligence as a part of the contract that he signed, and he also signed the contract, which is a binding one and doesn't have outs for anything relating to bot problems on Twitter. So it seems like he's in an absolutely terrible position right now, but nonetheless, again, shouldn't be surprising that he's put himself in this position. So they continue saying Musk had secured about $25 billion in debt financing tied to his stock in Tesla, where he is the CEO, and his withdrawal from the deal sets the stage for a lengthy legal battle with the tech titan. And they got a quote here saying Elon Musk lost $70 billion this year. The market tanked, his sexual misconduct cost him billions, and he had to sell 10 million shares in his company to afford Twitter. Political communications strategist Sawyer Hackett tweeted, and he says now Twitter is going to take him to court for reneging on the deal and will take even more from him. So I think that this, much more so than the bot problem, is why Elon Musk is pulling out of this deal. Basically, he offered them a completely ridiculous price point, which was way overvalued, given that Twitter is not really a profitable company, and their share price has been dropping recently. So he way overvalued the amount that he was willing to buy Twitter for, and on top of him obviously losing tens of billions of dollars because of market fluctuations. I think that has much more to do with why he's trying to pull out of this deal, and why it doesn't make any financial sense for him to have proposed the price point that he did in the first place. But they continue saying digital rights campaigners, media critics, and even public health experts had warned that the purchase of Twitter by Musk posed a direct threat to democracy and the common good by placing the highly influential social media platform, which is used by hundreds of millions of people worldwide, under the control of one man. And this is like basically the biggest critique that I had learning that Elon Musk was trying to buy Twitter is basically like, listen, all of the different problems that you associate with Twitter or any social media platform that is run by capitalists in this country, any problem that you could identify with that is only going to be worse if instead of having a board of directors who are beholden to the interests of shareholders, they're just beholden to the whims of the wealthiest man on the face of the planet. I mean, it's like you're just cutting out the middleman and going straight to the source of why a lot of these problems exist on Twitter. Now, maybe he would have put in place some policies that I would agree with and some things that could have improved the site, but nonetheless, at this point, it's all moot because he's not going through with this deal. And again, the problems with one person owning a social media platform, I think, are pretty obvious. That's why I'm in favor of decommodifying social media platforms, which are basically the modern day public town square, which is something Musk himself has called them. And so if you actually believe that they are the modern day public town square, then they shouldn't be owned by private entities, boards of directors, or singular individuals for that matter. But They continue here with a little bit more information on the finances of this. So they say it's incumbent that Musk prove that Twitter had breached their agreement, as he can't just pull out of the signed agreement because he feels like it. The deal was a potentially lucrative one for Twitter shareholders, offering $54.20 per share, up from the $36.81 that it closed at today. And there's also a $1 billion on the line as a breakup fee that will be paid by the party at fault. So again, potentially $1 billion in costs could be imposed on Elon Musk for pulling this type of stunt, but $1 billion, not that much to Elon Musk regardless. But I mean, you can see here the price point that he put up there, $54 compared to it right now sitting at $36. Obviously, this was a completely atrocious financial decision, and again, I think that's largely more so why he's trying to pull out of this deal. But anyways, we get to Donald Trump now at a recent rally that he was doing, where he calls Elon Musk a bullshit artist for pulling this on conservatives, who were super excited to have him in control of Twitter, to basically allow them to run rampant and do whatever they want on the platform. But Donald Trump, obviously also the owner of Truth Social, which he's going to talk about in this clip. So I think he has a personal vested interest in this deal falling apart. So let's go ahead and check in with what he had to say.
Another one of our highest priorities under a Republican Congress will be to stop left-wing censorship and to restore free speech in America.
Completely fucking laughable. I mean, just to take a pause here to let you guys know exactly Donald Trump and Truth Social's stance on free speech. Here from Vanity Fair, they say Trump's Truth Social is allegedly banning people for talking about the January 6 hearings because, of course, it is. So rampant banning going on Truth Social. If anything, I think you could definitely make the case that Truth Social has much more of a cancel culture, if you want to use that framing, cancel culture mindset than even Twitter does, which I have many disagreements with Twitter's policies, but Truth Social is Twitter, basically all of the worst aspects of it amplified to a million. On top of that, claiming that he believes in free speech and he's going to restore free speech rights in the United States. Again, here from Vanity Fair, Trump suggests kneeling NFL players should be deported for mildly and peacefully protesting the national anthem. Also, Donald Trump says flag burners should be punished, perhaps even jailed. So yeah, not exactly somebody who believes in freedom of speech, but let's continue.
And go out, by the way, while I'm here and sign up now for Truth Social. It's hot as a pistol, and you see that, I call that one right. Leon's, I tell you what, Elon is not going to buy Twitter. Where did you hear that before? From me. From a fake account. She says fake. A lot of them. Nah, he's got himself a mess. He said the other day, I've never voted for a Republican. I said, I didn't know that. He told me he voted for me. So he's another bullshit artist, but he's not going to be buying it. He's not going to be buying it. Although he might later. Who the hell knows what's going to happen? He's got a pretty rotten contract. I looked at his contract. Not a good contract. But he's not. Sign up for truth. We love the truth.
All right, so obviously outside of the, hypocrisy on free speech and the lying about what Truth Social is actually doing right now, on those other two major points that he was making there, I honestly think that Trump is 100% right. Number one, Elon Musk, well-known bullshit artist. He has been for basically his entire career. A large amount of his wealth, if not the vast majority of his wealth, is coming from his stock prices that are consistently inflated because he is consistently going out there and making promises that he does not keep. So again, on that front, Donald Trump is actually right in this instance. Elon Musk is definitely a bullshit artist, but on top of that, I mean, Donald Trump is not coming at this from the angle of criticizing him because he has good intentions. So I think that actually one of the major reasons why Donald Trump, on top of obviously having a vested financial stake in promoting Truth Social, Twitter being a competitor to that, obviously he has his incentives to oppose anything that could be positive for Twitter. But also on top of that, you have this, Elon Musk leaning towards supporting DeSantis for president. So, Donald Trump being the narcissistic, egomaniacal person that he is, obviously, would make everything about him and make it personal. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is also why he's turning against Elon Musk. But also we had Elon Musk responding to this Trump comment, and he said, here from The Guardian, Elon Musk hits back at Trump and says ex-president should hang up his hat. So obviously, nobody in this entire story has any, good ideas for the future of the country. Elon Musk supporting DeSantis, Donald Trump promoting his bullshit Truth Social social media platforms. So honestly, this has just been kind of entertaining to watch all of this play out. Elon Musk insisting that he was going to take over Twitter, got a bunch of support from right-wingers who thought that he was going to be the big protector of free speech in this country, obviously got way in over his head, and in his excitement, I guess, decided to propose a deal to buy Twitter that was wildly overvaluing the company, which is pretty hilarious, and then now he wants to back out of it because he's lost substantial amounts of his wealth over the last couple of weeks and months as the markets have started to tamp down, and then on top of that, just coming out and using these other excuses about spam bots, which he already knew about, given the fact that he had previous statements criticizing Twitter's spam bots and saying that that was one of the things he wanted to address once he took over Twitter. So, I mean, it's really just a top to bottom clusterfuck, but it has been pretty entertaining to see Elon Musk simultaneously sabotaging himself while also getting the same people who were counting on him to be the free speech absolutist warrior for them now starting to turn against him.